Yay Networks.
13 has been my lucky number for a while. Like, it's always a sign of good things to come for me.
This is 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, breaking down every song, every Easter egg, every era, and every theory. Hosted by the biggest Swifties, Nick Adams, Anna Casillejos, Amy Nichols, and Lacey G.
Welcome to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. My name's Nick Adams.
I'm Anna. Amy.
And I'm Lacey G.
And today's a very special episode of 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand with every guitar string scar on
We have some wonderful, great news. Anna, tell us all about it.
Yes, Ryan and I are engaged. Yes, I'm so excited. I've been crying a lot lately.
It's been
in a good
few
way,
days.
Obviously.
It's been a few days since you guys actually got engaged.
4
or 5 days. Are you sick of talking about it yet?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I have actually just wait for people to ask me about it.
So then give us every detail, all the nitty-gritty.
Okay.
Did you have a hunch this was going to happen?
No, oh my God. So Ryan and I mean, you guys have heard me talk about him on the podcast. We've been dating for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
We met in college. We were friends. Before we started dating, we were both in the film club. How dorky are we?
So cute.
And we started dating when I was a junior and he was a sophomore. He's a little bit younger than me. Well, a year younger than me in school, 2 years in age.
Wow.
I know. I know. But I always like to joke. I'm like, when I was your age. Anyway, so we met in college. After I graduated, I stayed pretty close to where we were. We went to TCU in Fort Worth, and I lived in Dallas. So it wasn't like too bad of distance. But then after he graduated, he moved back home to New Jersey. So we did long distance from Dallas and New Jersey for about 2 or 3 years. And then he decided to move back to Dallas. He moved in with me at the very start of the pandemic in 2020. We moved in together. We went from long distance to quarantine. So it was really a test of our relationship.
It was the complete opposite ends of a relationship.
Yeah, from 0 to 100, like immediately. But we survived quarantine together, which said a lot. And so he proposed, and I was so blown away. I'm still in awe and in shock on how he pulled it off. So it's March, and so he proposed on March 26th, which I will remember for forever. I already put it in my phone calendar to remind me every year. But he had been planning the proposal since December, since Christmas. So for about 3-ish months, he had been putting this together. He talked to my family at Christmas, which just makes me cry to think about that. And I asked him, I was like, at what point did that conversation take place? Because I was there the whole time. And he was like, well, when you showered. And I was like, you're lucky I take 25-minute showers. I take really long showers. And then I do my whole skin routine. So he had plenty of time to talk with my parents. But yeah, he planned this beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous proposal. We have this friend named Shelby, and she's a photographer. And every few months, she asks Ryan and I to take pictures with her, or like for her to take photos of us for her portfolio, for her social media, things like that. And I love having my photo taken. So I'm like, absolutely, yes. And we've done this a couple of times. And so she had asked Ryan and I like 2 weeks prior. She asked me, actually. She texted me, and she was like, hey, would you and Ryan be interested in doing some more photos? I want to promote like spring shoots and things like that. And I was like, yeah, of course. I asked Ryan, I was like, do you want to do this? And he was like, I guess I can fit it in my schedule, like whatever. But the weekend that she wanted to do it, I planned for my family to be in town. We live in Dallas, my parents live in Houston, and my brothers live in California. So we're kind of scattered. But I had gotten my parents tickets to see John Mulaney in Dallas for Christmas is what I got my parents. And
I do think it's funny that somehow John Mulaney
works
his way into this
most
romantic
proposal. I know.
John
Mulaney was involved. My dad loves stand-up comedy, and he loves John Mulaney. And so he was going on tour, and it was actually Ryan's idea. Of course it was. He was like, you should get your parents tickets to see John Mulaney in Dallas. Like, we can make a whole weekend out of it. I was like, that's a great idea. So I gave them that gift, and they loved it. And then I'm the one that told my brothers. I was like, you guys should also come. You should get tickets, come to Dallas, like we'll spend the whole weekend together. My older brother didn't make it to Christmas because of COVID and things like that. And so I was like, this can be our makeup Christmas weekend. Yes. And they're like, okay, cool. But Ryan was planning for this weekend to be the proposal because then he didn't have to make it like a surprise that my family was coming.
Sure, that's nice. That's
so
smart.
In a way, I planned for my family to be here, and I also planned the photo shoot that was happening that weekend. And Ryan was really, like, the details that he put into this is unbelievable because Shelby was texting me like when, where. She sent me like a whole Pinterest board of the vibe and the colors and what she wanted me to wear, everything, which she usually does. And so this wasn't out of character at all. And Ryan would be like, so what time are we doing photos with Shelby? Or like, wait, where is it? Or can you send me the address? Like, so he was very good at playing the part, you know? So we met up with her to do photos on like a Saturday morning. We went to see John Mulaney on Friday. And then Saturday morning, we went to go do photos with Shelby, and I thought we were just going to take some photos and then meet my family for lunch. And so whenever we're doing photos, Shelby is really good at like posing us. Like she'll tell me like put your hand on his shoulder, spin her around. Like she kind of just directs us like very, very well. She's a very good photographer. And so at one point we were at a greenhouse, which is like where there's a bunch of like butterflies and stuff, like super pretty. And it was early in the morning, and so the light was really gorgeous. And so we were next to this huge window. Well, obviously it's a greenhouse. But she was like, Anna, I want a photo of you looking out the window and Ryan just kind of stand over here. And I was like, okay. So she posed me on like how to stand, where to look out the window dramatically, as I like to be the main character of everything. I was like, yes, I love this. And then I heard her telling Ryan what to do, but I didn't know that he was actually getting down on one knee. And so she started taking photos, and she's like, okay, Anna, now turn around. I'm going to cry. And so I turned around, and he was on one knee. And so I just immediately started crying. I said yes before he even said anything, by the way. I was like, yes. And he was like, what? And I was like, yes. Like, I said yes so many times. Oh my gosh. It was so incredible. I just started crying. I said yes. He had his whole little like speech. It was so gorgeous. And so after that, I was like, oh my gosh, we took a few more photos. Shelby was like, we're going to go to another location. We're going to take more photos at this like park. I was like, okay. And so we went over there, and like two of my best friends were there. One of them flew in for this day. And so I started crying again, and they had like champagne and everything. And it was just so incredible because it was like surprise after surprise after surprise. Because I knew my family was in town, but then we went to lunch and his family was also here. His grandma was here. I've never felt so special, like ever. And then that night he had planned a huge party with like all of like my close friends, like from like childhood to college to after college. His family was there. My family was there. Some of my mom's friends were there. It was just so incredible. I was crying all night. It was like in the best way. And it was just, I really have never felt so loved and so special and so pretty. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like it was unbelievable. And I just cannot believe he pulled it off. Like I can, but I can't. And so for the last few days, I keep asking him all these questions. I'm like, wait, so when did you talk to this person? Or when did you do this? Or how did you do this? When did you get the ring? When did you do this? And so he's giving me all the behind the scenes. Because it's been 3 months of him keeping the secret. Yeah. 3 months of like all of my friends keeping the secret. And I'm like, everybody's really good at lying to me. So that's a little concerning.
I want to go back to December.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Nice. I like it.
When he asked your parents for their blessing, do you know if anyone got emotional?
My dad cried.
But Ryan didn't.
I actually don't know. I'm not 100% sure.
You need to ask him.
I didn't ask him if he cried, but he did tell me that my dad cried. And my mom, y'all know how much I cry just on this podcast, just like sitting here. My mom cries just as much as I do at almost anything. And so he talked to my dad alone at first. And my dad was the one that was like, let me tell her mom, because otherwise she's just going to get too emotional.
Sure.
And so my dad told my mom separately before Ryan talked to my mom about it. And he also talked to my brothers. Like yeah, I just can't believe he just pulled it off. And I can't believe that my mom kept the secret, to be honest. That's also really impressive.
Good job, Ryan.
I know.
That was so incredibly detailed. And even your friend was on lying to you. I love the measures that Kristen did.
Yes.
So explain Kristen's role.
So one of my best friends, Kristen, I've known her since we were kids. And she recently moved to California. And she knew, not that like I check her location every now and then, but she knew it'd be better safe to turn her location off, right? And so we're in like a group text with 3 of my friends. One of them is a nurse. And I opened up our group text and I wanted to see if my friend Steffi was at work or not. And so I could see if she was at the hospital. But in the group text, you can see everybody's location. And Kristen's location was off. And I was like, that's weird. I didn't really think anything of it. But I was like, oh, maybe it's my phone, or maybe doesn't have service. Whatever. She lives in California. Who cares? I mean, I care. But I was like, okay. And then Friday night, even though she was in town, she was in Dallas, she posted a picture on her Instagram story of like the LA sunset.
Genius.
She set an alarm on her phone for when the sun sets in LA, because she was in a different time zone. So she posted the photo. Her boyfriend reposted it on his story, because they always do that. So you got to stay on brand.
Right.
And so I did see that story, and I was like, okay, because I did know that whenever Ryan would propose eventually, she would be here for that.
Mm-hmm.
But when I did see her Instagram story of her like of the sunset, I kind of was like, okay, yeah, like I didn't think this was gonna happen. My family was in town and everything, but I did tell myself, I was like, there is such thing as coincidences, that my family's in town and we're taking photos, but that's
Right.
not. I convinced myself that he wasn't gonna propose. So honestly, that Instagram post probably sold it. Yeah. And it was all the little details that my friend said. The week before, I was having wine with my friend Steffi, and I told her, I was like, my family's going to be in town this week, and I just feel like it would be the perfect opportunity for Ryan to propose. And she was like, I don't think so. I feel like the summer is kind of more his vibe. You know, your birthday's in the summer. Like, I just really don't think, you know. And then she had told me that she was busy Saturday with her parents or something. Like, all of my friends are really good at really planting little details to throw me off. And I appreciate it a lot because I was very, very surprised.
Yeah, good teamwork.
It was incredible. It was unbelievable.
Are you happier that you're engaged? Or are you happier that people will stop asking when you're going to get engaged?
A little bit of both, right? Yeah. Since Ryan and I have been dating for so long, I've been getting asked, when are you getting engaged? Where's the ring? Whatever, for years. At least 3 years I've been getting that question. So I'm happy that question is over. But on to the next.
Go ahead, Amy.
Well, I was wondering, what was the first Taylor Swift song that you played in your head or in the car on the way to the picnic or whatever that was like, this is our engagement song?
I listened to Love Story Taylor's version and I started crying.
Aww.
I really did. And then that night at the party, he had a whole playlist. Like, obviously Taylor was on the playlist, but we couldn't get the speakers to work, which kind of sucked, but it's okay. I've been sharing photos of the engagement on my social media. And I've been like waiting. I want to use obviously Taylor Swift lyrics for like certain photos that I'm just like holding on to because it's just the perfect thing. But we were in the car and we were listening to Cruel Summer, and I was like, you realize what you signed up for, right? Like a lifetime of Taylor Swift. And he's like, I've known that.
Yeah.
Like I literally have all of her albums framed and hung up in our living room.
First song should have been Ready for It.
Yeah, that would have been good. Yeah, but I listened to Love Story, Taylor's version, and I just started crying.
That's fabulous.
Okay.
I cried.
An important part of the engagement is the ring. How did he figure out what kind of ring you would want? Did he consult with you? Did y'all go ring shopping?
Is it made of paper?
It is actually a paper ring. It is a paper ring. No, we went to go look at rings together in January.
Okay.
So he knew.
Before or after the John Mulaney tickets had been purchased?
The John Mulaney tickets were already purchased.
Okay, that's
at
good.
that point. So he kind of already knew what weekend he was going to do it. So we went to go look at rings in January just so I could get an idea because I didn't even know what I wanted. And I've heard that if you like try things on, you just really get a different idea. So we went to go look at rings together in January, and then he went back to get it a week later. And so he was holding on to it for like a month before he actually proposed.
Where
was
did he hide
hiding it? I know, that was one of the first questions
Yeah.
I asked too. He was hiding it it was like the ring in a box inside another box inside like his headphones box in his nightstand.
Okay.
And I was like, what would you have done if, like, very randomly, I was like, oh, my AirPods died. I'm just going to grab the spare headphones you have. But that never happened.
No, don't do that.
He was very prepared for, like, just in case situations.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
not to go back to crying. Did he cry while proposing?
He didn't. He didn't cry. I
Do you want to
cry-
be with a guy that doesn't get
I
emotional?
cry for the both of us.
Yeah.
I really, I think if we were both crying all the time, it'd be a little concerning. I cry enough for the both of us.
Do you remember anything he said?
Yeah, it was very short and sweet.
Okay.
Very straight to the point. I asked him if he like wrote it down or anything, and he didn't. He knew what he wanted to say. It was very, very short and sweet. And then the "Will you marry me?" and I was like, oh my god, yeah.
For the 20th time. 13th time.
Yeah. Yes, said it 13 times.
So did he incorporate any Taylor Swift in with his proposal?
I mean, not into the actual proposal, but he did have like Taylor Swift on the playlist. Like he had picked out songs for that night, but we just couldn't get the speaker to work, which was unfortunate. But I mean, Taylor Swift is in my life every single day.
Right.
So somebody commented on my Instagram being like, when Ryan proposed to you, he proposed to Taylor as well.
Well, here's the only issue, Anna. You are in constant fear that Taylor is going to announce a tour. She's going to announce a concert. She's going to do something because you're in all these weddings before
Yes.
even your own.
Right.
You're in all these weddings. So you're worried about her going to announce this. We think, or at least hope, that she listens to this podcast
Yeah.
You need to pick a wedding date
I
so
know,
we
so
can let
plan-
Taylor
I
know.
know.
But she also works 3 years in advance.
I know. So she needs to announce her tour.
She does, so that you can plan
I
your wedding.
can plan my wedding.
Yes, it's important.
I need her to do that. Taylor, if you're, will you at least just like send me a DM? I promise I won't tell anyone.
And if she announces it before you pick your wedding date, then you can register, like your wedding registry can be concert tickets.
Oh,
Right?
Yes.
What if Taylor sends you a red gift
I
for your wedding?
would cry.
Yes, you get the
so
little
much
iconic
more.
box.
I would. Oh my gosh,
that would be beautiful. Okay, so add to your notes. We need to ask Taylor.
Okay, wait, hold on. Let me pull them up.
What's your favorite lyrics that could also be vows?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And I want to know from the 13 listeners, what can we do with this? Should we write our own Taylor Swift vows, or how can we incorporate this into Anna's big day and maybe even inspire her to actually do it? So let us know what episodes you would like to hear from us, how we can have fun with this, and celebrate Anna and Taylor. Congratulations.
And Ryan.
Oh, and Ryan. And him.
You know
Sorry.
what, though? I have been thinking for the last few days. Our friend Aspen, who we met at Taylor Fest a while ago, she posted a TikTok video a while ago because I think she's also engaged. And she was like, you really think that I'm going to get married before Taylor releases all of her Taylor's versions? No. And I've been thinking about that video that she posted like for the last few days. And I'm like, she's right. I need Taylor to release like 1989 Taylor's version before the wedding so that I can play those songs. That is funny. So shout out to Aspen because that TikTok video, it lives in my mind rent free.
Well, congratulations, Anna. We're so
Thank
happy for you.
Yay.
The pictures are beautiful.
Yes.
Ryan is just... what a cool thing to do.
Yes,
I cannot
you.
believe the dedication and the effort that he put into that. It's just
yeah.
incredible, everything that he pulled off. So thoughtful. So happy for you both.
Thank you. I'm speechless, honestly. And I don't know what else to say.
So exciting.
Yay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, go show Anna some love. Her social media contact info is in the description of this podcast. Be sure to come back next week because we're going to be breaking down Come Back, Be Here. Which,
How ironic.
isn't that like one of your favorite songs because it has a connection with your now fiance?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to get into all of it next time.
Thanks for listening to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. Subscribe for free and leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts.